There it is, planet Druidia. And underneath the air shield, 10,000 years of fresh air. We must get through that air shield.
We will, sir. Once we kidnap the princess, we can force her father, King Roland, to give us the combination to the air shield, thereby destroying planet Druidia and saving planet Spaceball.
Everybody got that? Good.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
This is Cheapseat Reviews.
Hello, and thank you for listening. Thank you for welcoming me. To Cheapseat Reviews, the podcast that explores the Hollywood film industry for the greater good.
The greater good.
This is episode 207, but it doesn't really matter because just like the points don't matter, the order doesn't matter. I am Shawn Allred, and joining me tonight is, who is it? Is Andrew. She's gone from suck to blow Jimison.
Hey.
Oh, nice Foley work there. Corny. Switch mine to the soup, Logan.
I ain't found shit.
And Sam drinks coffee while watching Radar Vector.
Yes, my Schwartz is bigger than your Schwartz, just so you know.
Oh, I know. That's not even up for debate. Long since been proven. Science.
I creamed my Schwartz when I saw Shawn's beard.
Shut up. Yeah, I my wife has already told me to shave it off, so I'll be shaving it tomorrow.
Oh,
she hates it.
No, you look distinguished.
Yeah, you look like some sort of I don't know, redheaded hobo.
You know what my son said? I know people who are listening to the show, most of y'all don't even know what I look like except from the weird picture on our Facebook page. But my son said, "You look like Santa Claus." And I'm like,
"Oh, okay.
My beard isn't white and I'm not that big." He goes, "Well, no, but you still look like Santa Claus." And okay.
In so many ways.
He called you fat. Fight him.
Yeah, fight him. Yeah, it's my 5-year-old.
Fight.
But it was funny because this for I was gone for the month in Indiana. I'm back home now as we record this, which is fantastic. And my daughter ran to me when I came in, and then she immediately put her hands to my face and just giggled, and then ran away saying "ew." So.
You know, that's exactly what I did when I saw you last, too.
Oh, well, I actually figured the joke was going to be, and that's what my wife did when she saw me. Anyway, so we're doing Spaceballs, the movie. That's right. Listener Andrew, not Andrew Jimison, but Andrew Abernathy, who has been listening to us since kind of the beginning, honestly. He sent me a Twitter message and said, "Hey, you should do Spaceballs." I'm like, "Yeah, let's do Spaceballs. That sounds fun." So it's on Amazon. If you're listening and want to watch it, how to find it? It's on Amazon streaming. It's not.
Well, I watched it on Netflix. I don't know what you guys did.
Oh well, you must have that weird Canadian Netflix that has other things that the American one doesn't. So we've done comedies before. I've long since said that comedies are kind of hard to do for the podcast because you can't really take the movie seriously and you can't really make fun of it. So kind of our jobs is to basically talk about does the movie hold up? All right, this movie is 31 years old. Is it still funny? Do the jokes still work? And so that's kind of what we're going to talk about is we'll kind of talk about the movie. And when I know we've all seen it probably many times. I didn't take a single show note on this movie because I could quote it from the beginning to the end. I've seen it so many times. This is probably my most viewed Mel Brooks film, like by far, not even close. But we experienced, Andrew, you weren't part of the show yet, but when we watched Ghostbusters for the podcast, it was one of the, if not the first time, I had seen the un-TV'd version. And that's kind of the same with Spaceballs. I think I've only ever seen the theatrical version like once.
Really?
So the whole "we ain't found shit" part, never heard that before. Because the dubbed version is the version that I hear on TV, because on the VHS copy that I have that I recorded off of TBS, is he says "we ain't found nothing." And like the whole asshole bit wasn't in it either.
They totally cut it out?
Yeah, who made that man a gunner? I did, sir. He's my cousin. And then he just cuts him closing his helmet saying, "Keep firing." Like, that's it. That's the whole bit. And so in the whole thing, he's like, he's an asshole. And I'm like, of course he's an asshole. No, that's his name. He's an asshole. And I'm surrounded by assholes like that, but that part's been cut. So I was laughing because I haven't heard the bit before. So there was a lot of that going on. So I'm actually kind of excited to talk about this movie and kind of see if we think it holds up. And yeah, so Andrew, if hopefully I've stalled enough to let you to find the IMDb page. Sam, you're kind of freaking me out right now. You okay?
What's wrong?
Your eyes are just really big and kind of weirding me out. You good? Okay. Andrew, What is Spaceballs other than objects in space that are ball shaped? Seriously.
Well,
Sam, you're freaking me out.
What's wrong with you?
Planet Spaceballs President Skroob sends Lord Darkhelmet to steal planet Druidia's abundant supply of air to replenish their own, and only Lone Starr can stop them.
Okay, yeah, that's actually kind of the story. Good job, IMDb. You had 31 years to get it right. So I guess, Andrew, I'll let you start off as tradition dictates.
All right. Well, I have this to say.
Uh-oh.
Corny.
Everything is awesome.
Okay.
Between the Foley work and now sound effects, yeah, Andrew's up on his game.
I tell you, it's impressive.
Well, I've been waiting to do this podcast for 35 years now.
35, okay.
Is that it?
No, well, 31. This movie came out 31 years ago. So
Yeah.
No, seriously though, I have seen this movie. I don't know how many times, but like Shawn, I had only seen the TV edited version.
Nice.
And it was a kind of a staple in our house. My dad was a Star Wars fan growing up, and when this was made, this was something that was played in our house quite often. And anytime it was on TBS or any other cable station, we watched parts of it or whatever I was allowed to watch. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think that just like any other Mel Brooks movie, this is meant to be farcical and playful and just making fun of things. And I didn't realize this, and I'm sure you'll get into the trivia later, but I'm going to break a little bit of it. Sorry.
That's fine.
That George Lucas was, perfectly fine with it and loved it. And so
I was surprised at that when I read that, because I would have thought, basically, especially the whole the way they market everything, I thought that was going to be an issue,
right,
or would have been an issue.
Well, it kind of was.
But I think smartly, he was okay with it because it only helped Star Wars.
That's true.
It only pushed more people to Star Wars. And there may have been people that saw this before they saw Star Wars.
Right. And thought maybe I should check this out. Right.
Is it stupid? Yeah, in parts, but all Mel Brooks movies are. And if you don't enjoy stupid funny, then you're not going to enjoy Mel Brooks movies.
Exactly.
There are some things that I kind of roll my eyes at, but then there are some things that I truly laughed out loud with. We Ain't Found Shit was one of them.
Right.
So I don't know. There's some really good stuff. And I'm sure we'll talk about the trivia. Really interesting trivia in this one, I thought, anyway.
Yeah, and actually, I actually kind of not captured. I brought over a lot of trivia for this movie because one, there was a lot of it. When you have a movie that's this kind of popular and cultish, it tends to have more trivia than some of the other films that we've done.
Yeah.
And again, I didn't take any show notes because I could freaking quote this movie. Well, I can quote the edited version of this movie.
We ain't found nothing.
We ain't found nothing. Yeah, so maybe it's nothing or crap. Maybe it's crap.
Does that? I mean, I wonder. This is even the most controversial Mel Brooks film. Like, do you take Blazing Saddles and put it on TBS?
Well, yeah, because that's how the first time I saw it was in that medium too, and so the sheriff is near part that all still plays, but then when they drop the actual N-bomb.
Yeah.
Like they don't do that on TV. They don't. They bleep it out. So when we did it for the podcast, I remember specifically saying, I don't remember them saying the N-word so many times in this movie, but they say a lot. And everybody, Corny and you guys were like, "Yep, that's the way they talk. That's the way the movie is." And again, I didn't know that. So I think really the only Mel Brooks movie that I've seen the theatrical release more than any other one, I think, is Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's probably the one because not a whole lot of change.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of change, and I think I owned it early. Like I had it on VHS. I didn't own either one, this or what was the other one we were just talking about on VHS. I actually don't own Blazing Saddles on any medium, but I do own Spaceballs on DVD. At least I think I do. Maybe I don't.
You do. I borrowed it.
Okay. Do you still have it?
No, I'll get it.
No, I don't know. It's probably in my collection somewhere. So Corny. First of all, it's good to have you back, buddy.
Yeah, man.
For thousands of years, I've slumbered. There summons me from my mortal's snooze. It's funny that you guys say, I've only seen, I saw it first as an edit. Every Mel Brooks movie I've ever seen has been a theatrical release.
Really?
Yeah. I've never seen the TV versions of these. Well, no, let me rephrase. It was years before I saw a TV version of any of these. Spaceballs, I think the first time I saw was VCR tape,
VHS,
or it was the full thing. And but at that point in time, I'm already familiar with Blazing Saddles, so it really doesn't get worse than that. So I'm not like taking a shock, but it still makes me laugh. But I like stupid comedy like that. I like Mel Brooks stupid comedy. Other movies, I don't think you could do this, or I don't think it would work outside of his mind. But at the same token, this movie you can't do these movies now. You can't do this movie in a modern setting. You couldn't take this idea, modernize it with these types of jokes, and people not get offended. Like, there's no way that's a possibility at this point in time.
There'd be at least somebody to say, "Wait a second, I'm offended by this." Or,
well, I mean, even like to very much that point, Corny. Like Django Unchained came out, right? And they dropped the N-word about 1 million times in that movie, and some people got offended. And and that was a serious film about a period in time where people talked like that, and people got upset because it was a white director making them say these words, and so you're not wrong. I don't think Blazing Saddles could be made in 2018. I definitely don't think Robin Hood Men in Tights would be made. I think a version of this movie could be made because we're still so enveloped into the geek culture right now, but it would be way less black jokes, way less Jew jokes. It would be more just making fun of the genre. Like, more like what Galaxy Quest is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's okay. You can do that, but
that's a different type of movie. Like, Galaxy Quest is a sincere. It's not making fun of Star Trek. It's almost a.
But it's an homage almost.
Yeah, it's an homage. It's a tribute to Trek.
Yeah.
And they poke fun at a couple of the Trek tropes, like, he ripped his shirt again, kind of bit.
But it never got mean.
No, it's never mean, and it's never.
In terms of the Trek culture.
Right. Yeah, they're not making fun of Trek culture. They're also not, like, in this movie, they're kind of making fun of Star Wars fans. And they're making fun of Star Trek a little bit. And some other, they bring in aliens in, and they do a couple other little things, but they're kind of digging at them a little bit. And of course, they're making their Jewish jokes and their black jokes and other jokes that Mel Brooks likes to, all the tropes that he likes to challenge.
yeah, all of the things above.
Right.
But I still enjoyed the hell out of this movie, and I don't think I've ever felt different about this movie from the first time I saw it to now. It's always felt the same. I've never been bored by it. It's essentially rare. Like, Blazing Saddles has the same effect. Men in Tights, not so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, those two in particular, Spaceballs and Blazing Saddles, pretty much feel the same every time I watch it. So there's really nothing I can say about the movie other than, as it is a parody. I mean, there are things that are absolutely silly. The pick, I mean, the fact that they manufactured a pick that large makes me so happy. I have one of those, by the way.
Comb the desert.
Oh my gosh. You have a pick that big?
Yes, actually, yes.
Oh my gosh.
Nice.
I've never seen it. I have to come over.
I have one of those picks with the black power fist on top.
Nice. Oh, I've seen that. You had that in college.
That's all I have it, yeah.
Yeah, you had it in college. You'd wear it around. It was great. You would make people super uncomfortable. I would laugh.
Oh, it was, hell yeah. And that's American, right?
That's right.
But anyway, no, I don't really know what else to say other than the fact that I enjoyed the movie, and I'm going to be real bad about it because I can't hate it. There's nothing I hate about this movie.
Okay. That's fine. Hey, Sam.
Yeah. Spaceballs. It's an interesting thing. And I mentioned to you, Shawn, about this too earlier in this week. This movie has a special place for me, especially now. Yeah. I had a really good high school friend that passed away unexpectedly earlier in the month. And the very first time I saw this movie was actually at his house back in high school. So it was kind of ironic that we were doing this thing, but it kind of is that movie though, in terms of the movie you show to friends. You haven't seen Spaceballs? What? I'm gonna, come on, we're renting it tonight, and we'll put it in the VCR and put it in there, right? It's that easily quotable, poking fun, Mel Brooks perfect movie to me in terms of a comedy. I put it right up there like Corny does with not West Side Story. Blazing Saddles. And I'm absolutely in love with the producers. So I put that up there, along with that. So I can watch this thing over and over. Certainly, is it cheesy? Oh my gosh, there are some parts that are just, I don't know, achingly cheesy and not as funny as they'd like them to be. But that's part of its charm too. It's totally earnest in trying to sell the jokes that it's doing. And I thought it was fun. Thought it was fun for however many times I've seen this thing, and I'll probably go watch it again at some point and laugh again. So, how about you, Shawn?
Oh, sure. Well, I kind of said a lot of mine at the beginning with the fact that this is, one of the first times seeing the theatrical version of the movie. And to me, some of the jokes still work. Some of the jokes don't really work anymore.
But did they ever really?
Yeah, I think some of the you have to kind of be in the nerd culture of the time to get some of the jokes. Like, I bet people probably Young Frankenstein works regardless if you've ever seen a Frankenstein movie or read Mary Shelley's Frankenstein or not. Like, I think that movie still works. I still think Blazing Saddles works, even if you've never seen a Western before, ever, right? But I think you have to have watched Star Wars to get most of these jokes. You have to have seen Star Trek to get why they want to do beaming, and the engineer is named Snotty, and he's Scottish wearing a kilt. Like, and so a lot of the jokes, and then the alien bit at the end, and that's actual John Hurt playing the scene. That's why he says, "Oh, not again." You have to know that that's from Alien, right? The first one, and so that's why I think, again, I love the movie for what it did for nerd culture, but I feel like you have to have been part of the nerd culture to begin with. So that might have alienated some things. The other interesting part that Andrew brought up was about, George Lucas actually really enjoying the movie, reading the script ahead of time, and agreed to let Mel Brooks parody Star Wars as long as he didn't merchandise the movie. So that's why that whole bit about merchandising is in the movie. Is they're literally kind of poking fun at Star Wars for having all of this merchandise that George Lucas could make. That's why there's no such thing as a Spaceballs the Lunchbox. You can't find one. I mean, you could make one, but it wouldn't be licensed for the movie because they didn't merchandise the movie. They weren't allowed to.
Yeah.
So, if of the merchandise of the movie, the only thing I'd actually want would be a scale model of the Winnebago. That'd be the one thing that I'd want. On my Christmas tree, have my Serenity, Firefly Serenity, there, and then my Enterprise, and then the Winnebago. Like my triumvirate of nerd spaceships is kind of what I would want.
Nice.
Yeah. So anyway, I watched this movie again with my roommate Chris, who he's no longer my roommate. My roommate's now my wife.
Did you kill him?
No. He's still in Indiana. He's still working. They got another week and a half worth of work. I came home.
I'm glad you didn't do that this time.
Yeah. And I was telling him, I said it probably wasn't until when did we do Planet of the Apes for the show? First year of the podcast, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't until that moment that we did that movie that I got the bit at the end when the Spaceballs the guys are coming out of her nose, and the Planet of the Apes guys walks up and goes, "Oh shit, there goes the planet." Didn't get that bit until just then. Because I had never seen Planet of the Apes. I didn't get the joke. So, it's
fair enough.
But it's the same thing, right? You had to have seen the movie to get the joke. And so that's why I think that this movie doesn't hold up for everyone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It is an acquired taste.
It's not even an acquired taste. It's maybe it is. Maybe that does work, an acquired taste.
You would have had to have experienced other things to appreciate.
Right.
This particular,
yeah, exactly. And you were off fixing your microphone, Corny, while I was making the point that Young Frankenstein and Blazing Saddles work as standalone movies. You don't have to have ever seen a Western to appreciate Blazing Saddles. You don't have to have read Mary Shelley's Frankenstein in order to get that movie, Young Frankenstein. But you had to have watched Star Wars, some Star Trek, Aliens, and Planet of the Apes to get this movie.
But at the same, in the same idea, where a Western is an older movie genre that we really don't do anymore, but it's old enough for people to know in commonplace because we've seen it in media, TV,
right,
even commercials demonstrate this stuff. Same thing with Frankenstein. We all know the idea of the Frankenstein monster. We say Frankenstein things in terms of a verb or an ad, the idea is there. So I think maybe in the right amount of time, Spaceballs in that idea might actually be better than now, because there's still a lot of people who didn't go that genre route of Star Wars, and they don't understand that that's not something they've watched. But maybe in time, it's buried so deep in the culture, like Western. And I think the problem with a Star Wars is that there's too many other things that people have gotten into and watched, where Westerns were, a bunch, and you didn't really have much else to watch. So I guess I just kind of countered my own argument.
Well, yeah. I mean, to that point, a Western is a genre, right? Star Wars is, well, when this movie was made, it was 3 movies. Now there's, 7, 8, 9, almost 10 now. And 2 TV series.
Yeah.
So, but
3.
3? Clone Wars, Rebels.
Isn't there? Wait. What am I thinking of?
Oh, no, I guess if you have to count the Ewok movies too, so I guess there's more than 10. Anyway, my point is that, but like my son could walk in, which I think he's actually might be doing that soon. I just heard a door shut. I just heard a door shut, so either he had to go to the bathroom or he's about to walk in here.
He's in the window behind you, Shawn.
That'd be really crazy, because that's the second story. So he's 5.
It can be done.
Yeah. So anyway, my point is that, like, my son would get, if he walked in while I was watching Spaceballs and saw Andrew playing with his microphone, and saw Dark Helmet, he would probably say, "Oh, is that Darth Vader?" Like, he would probably get that reference. And I think most people get the whole "I'm your father's brother's cousin's former roommate" bit because of the whole "I'm your father" bit. Because, like what Corny said, even though there are people that have never seen Star Wars, they know that phrase.
Yeah.
Though, of course, they know it wrong because they say, "Luke, I'm your father," which of course isn't right. But like, my wife watched this. If she didn't watch it with me this time, obviously, because I was at home, but she wouldn't get the alien, the chest burster scene. She wouldn't get that. Which, by the way, as a favor to Mel Brooks from George Lucas, Industrial Light and Magic did that scene.
Nice.
They did the puppetry for it as a way of saying, "Hey, we like what you're doing. This is cool. Here you go. Here's a little what's the Michigan J Frog?"
Yeah, I was going to ask, did they get in trouble for that?
I guess not. So I don't know. I like the movie. I can say that I don't of the Mel Brooks films, it's personally my favorite, but because it's making fun of my genre. I think Young Frankenstein is his best film. Personally, again, that's just me. I think it's the best film.
Still haven't seen that thing.
Which one?
Young Frankenstein.
Young Frankenstein.
Really?
Didn't we do it for the podcast? I thought we did it for the show. I could have swore we did it for the show.
About it, but we didn't.
Oh my gosh! I thought we did it for one of the Halloween Halloween deals. I guess not. Damn. Well, we're gonna have to find some way to rectify that. Of course, I'm sure it won't be streaming when it's actually Halloween. We'll do Young Frankenstein. We'll find a way to do it.
Sam, all you need to know is putting on the Ritz.
Putting on the Ritz.
Put on the Ritz. See, I know like the things from it, but yeah, so weird.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, and like in that very thing, I was getting made fun of by my roommate Chris for some movies that I hadn't seen from the 80s, but I could quote them because I've heard other people quote them so much. So like when we were working, we'd be bored, and we would play the whole, you say a quote of a movie, we try to guess the line, and he would only pick 80s movies He's seen a lot of movies, but that's just his niche, his 80s movies. And he'd say the quote, and I'd still know it. And he'd go, "Oh, have you seen that?" And I said, "No, I just know the quote because I've heard other people quote it." And they would make fun of me for not having seen enough 80s movies. He's like, "Do you know there are good movies in the 80s?" I'm like, "You do know that they made good movies after the 80s too, right?"
Suck it.
Yeah. So, anyway.
Finish up with that. That always ends the statement well.
That's true. I should have said that. I didn't.
With conviction.
With conviction. Anyway. Oops. I was looking to see if Young Frankenstein was streaming. It doesn't.
Frau Blicker.
Yeah, it's not streaming on.
Took too long, Sean.
I know. Sorry.
Your beard has slowed you down.
It is not.
It's made you weak.
Made me weak. It's made my chin itch.
I was born with a beard. You have merely adopted it.
Yeah, I was born with a beard. Actually, of the four of us, Corny, I would actually bet that you were born with a beard.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Have y'all seen like the length of my beard as of late?
No.
Well, no.
I'm almost mountain man status. Hold on, check this out.
Ah.
Oh wow, there you go. Yeah, you got to get some something behind you there.
Yeah, I'm all black.
Yeah, it's black on black, man. We got to help us out here.
There
There you go.
Right.
Awesome.
Oh yeah, I saw you on your live stream the other night. Anyway,
That's right.
no one cares. I don't know what else to talk about. I mean, like,
Hey, let's talk about shit. I had a good idea.
Okay, how about this? So my back hurts. So one of the jokes that didn't work for me in the movie. I liked. How do I say this?
Big butts and I cannot lie.
Yeah.
Other-
Deadpool, right? The movie Deadpool was
he
wonderful.
shows up in this movie. Yeah. Okay.
And Deadpool, breaks the fourth wall. He's self-aware that he's in a movie, right?
Yeah.
And there are other movies that Mel Brooks does where they break the fourth wall. They do it, I know, in Men in Tights. I don't think they do it in Young Frankenstein. I'm pretty sure they don't. And I don't remember if they did it in Blazing Saddles. I just don't remember. Corny?
I think. Oh gosh, I'm trying. Yes. Cleavon Little at some point in time looks at the screen. I forget where they were, but he's sitting down and looks at the screen, says something to it, and then that's a very quick one. But yeah, he does break the fourth wall.
Yeah, I think I remember something like that too.
Actually, let me see if I can find it. Keep going.
It's something about. Is it something about white women or something? I can't remember what he says.
Really?
No, seriously.
That's actually, I don't remember what it is, but I think it's towards the end when they're in the theater or something to that effect.
Well, that actually breaks the fourth wall there because they jump onto another movie set.
Yeah.
That breaks the fourth wall.
Right.
They did it too many times in this movie, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, okay, the camera runs into Dark Helmet. He literally pushes the Colonel Sanders out of the way, and he gets hit to face with a camera. Okay, fine. So you did it that time. And then, like, he does the intro clip that I played where he basically gives the plot of the movie, and then he looks at the camera and says, "Everybody got that?" Okay. So there's two. They kill the boom operator in the lightsaber duel at the end. And there was a fourth time, I can't remember, but they did it too many times, in my opinion. And I thought it's clever when you do it once or twice, but I thought it's not like the Peter Griffin on the ground going, with his knee for 4 minutes and it becomes funny. I felt like they did it too many times, in my opinion. I like the helmet crashing into the camera and then kill the boom guy, and then that's it. Like, just leave those two, and because it's always the boom guy's fault. You should always kill him.
Yeah.
Damn sound guys. I'm gonna play a clip or two, and if something else strikes our fancy, then we'll.
So it's so hard to review a comedy like this.
Yeah, it is. Again, we did that, but we did the same thing with Blazing Saddles. It was like we kind of knew what we were getting into with that. But I only captured 5 clips, probably because I was running out of time, because I got home earlier today. But the other part was I had to pick and choose what I kind of thought were some of the funnier moments for me. So here we go. This part, I don't know why this part makes me laugh, but this one still gets me.
What's the matter with this thing? What's all that churning and bubbling? You call that a radar screen?
No, sir. We call it Mr. Coffee. Care for some?
Yes! I always have coffee when I watch radar. You know that.
Of course I do, sir.
Everybody knows that. Of course we do, sir!
I don't know why that part makes me laugh, but it does. I mean, and that's funny too, because at the time, like, the Mr. Coffee thing was like a real big thing. And so the fact that they had Mr. Coffee, Mr. Radar, Mr. Rental. Okay, did we like that bit? You know, the instant video, the movie is in the stores.
Oh, I liked it. I thought it was quite funny.
What the hell am I looking at? Because that's again breaking the fourth wall, like, in several ways. I think. I thought it was funny, but then it's like, okay, hang in there. If you're going to be omnipotent by having the movie, then
keep going.
Then why didn't you just watch the rest of the movie to figure out how you were going to get blown up? You know, like, anyway.
I wondered that this time, and I don't think I've thought in the past when I watched it. I don't think I thought it, but this time I thought, I don't understand why you don't just keep watching.
Right? Or how did you see them on a desert planet and you know which one to go to? They're on the moons of Vega. How do you know that? It's just a desert. Like, is that the only desert planet in 1,000 light years? I don't know. So, but it was still funny.
Maybe.
And the giant hairdryer made me laugh. Only what you need to survive. It's my industrial strength hairdryer, and I can't live without it. I captured this because I'm contractually obligated to do so.
All right, I'll take a shot at it. What the hell? It works on Star Trek.
There you go. So,
throwing shade.
There's actually another Star Trek reference connection in this movie. Is anybody aware of it?
All right, hold on a second.
No.
No.
The guy who is holding the pick, who said "We ain't found shit," plays Commander Tuvok in Star Trek Voyager.
Really?
Wow.
You right?
Damn.
How cool is that? And I didn't know that until I looked it up in the trivia and saw that it was Tim Russ. And I'm like, holy shit. That's great. He was a Spaceball before he was on Star Trek. I love it.
I guess he finally found shit.
Right? And speaking of which,
We ain't found shit.
there we go. So I now have that for forever.
We ain't found shit.
There we go. So
We ain't found shit. We ain't. Okay, sorry.
yeah. And then you can say stuff like, oh man, you know, like,
that is one big pile of shit.
there we go. So
Nice.
I wish whenever my desktop gets back
Under there is a maze of shit.
There we go. So one of these days, I'm gonna take all my shit lines and just turn them into like one big long shit.
Or just cut out all the shits and just different shit levels of for.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Like Sam says something pretty awful, you go shit, or you know,
like a montage of shits. I like that.
yeah, a shit-tage, if you will.
We ain't found shit.
There you go. All right, I'm done with that. Sorry. If you listen to the show with your kid in the car, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I had to again. I also felt contractually obligated to capture this.
I'm having trouble with the radar, sir.
What's wrong with it?
I've lost the bleeps, I've lost the sweeps, and I've lost the creeps.
The what?
The what?
And the what?
You know, the bleeps, the sweeps, and the creeps.
That's not all he's lost.
I love Michael Winslow.
What's up with the 80s and having the,
Michael Winslow?
Yeah.
Well,
like, you don't see that at all anymore.
There's actually a bit of trivia where they were, that whole scene was going to be different, but then Mel Brooks got the idea, well, if we just hire Michael Winslow to do the sound effects, then it'll be cheaper. Which I love.
It's because of that, man. I actually know how to do my voice guitar sound.
Sure.
Yeah.
Here's this.
We ain't found shit.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm done.
At last, we meet for the first time for the last time. At last, we meet for the first time for the last time.
Before you die, there is something you should know about us, Lone Starr.
What?
I am your father's brother's nephew's cousin's former roommate.
There you go. So, yeah, again, that joke doesn't work as well. But, then he shoots the laser and he bounces off the mirror and hits himself in the nuts. That's pretty funny, too. It did do the trope, though, of the power is within you. You don't need the ring. I mean, they recently, spoiler alert, they recently did that in Thor Ragnarok. So, I mean, they're still using that trope.
Yep.
My intro thing, the Last Dragon, the entire movie is about him finally understanding he is he's an actual kung fu master.
Right.
That's the entire trip of the movie.
So,
but he always had it in him.
So like the Matrix, there is no spoon. All you have to do is believe that he's the one. Got it.
Yeah. Except that was also a lie.
Well, that's true.
Yep.
Spoiler. No, it's not a spoiler. It's been way too long.
1999. We're good. Yeah.
Speaking of spoilers.
Yeah.
Infinity War. I'm just kidding.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, you gotta go see it, dude. I'm surprised you haven't been spoiled yet.
Yeah. Well, what happens when you teach 77 high schoolers that all go to
Oh no!
Is you're sitting in your office and all of a sudden you hear blah 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 and I'm like, stop talking, stop right now.
Hey,
oh.
And so I've heard some things that probably have been spoiled now.
And I figured I was gonna get a visit from my son tonight. What's up, bud? You had a bad dream? Okay.
It's Declan. Declan.
I'd say it'd be a bad dream if there's blood involved there.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
You want me to come check you back in?
Did you kill somebody again?
All right. Let me pause
What
the
did we
show.
say
Let me pause
about
the show.
manslaughter?
All right, hold on. Pause. Re-recording. Sorry about that. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, for a little break. Of course, you guys at home have no idea that there was a 10-minute recess for my son. All right, here we go. I don't remember what we're talking about because that was a long time ago, so I'm just going to play this.
Dicks.
Now for some more bad news. Ready?
There you go. You scream dicks, right? Big old bag of dicks. The Millennium Falcon from Star Wars makes a cameo appearance in this movie. You guys know that?
Where?
There's
at the diner, isn't it?
It's at the diner. It's parked on the little platform.
Oh.
I read that when I was watching the movie, and definitely looked for it, and you can see that there it is. George Lucas got a chance to read the script before production, and I mentioned earlier, loved it so much that he decided to give special effects company ILM help to make the film.
Nice.
In the scene where Dark Hillman is playing with his dolls, it was not in the script. Writer and director Mel Brooks came up with the idea on the set one day and told Rick Moranis, who improv the entire scene, including the dialogue.
Nice.
Did you see anything? No, sir. I didn't see you playing with your dolls again. In a 2013 television interview, Mel Brooks stated that he personally obtained George Lucas's full permission to parody any and all things Star Wars, but on the one condition that absolutely no merchandise of any kind to be produced from the film. Barf's costume was operated by 3 people. John Candy operated Barf's tail using a hidden control in his paw, while 2 assistants controlled each ear. Candy's costume was powered by a 30-pound battery that he wore on his back.
Oof.
And there's a couple of scenes where you can see where he's you see his back. You can see this big square lump in the middle of his back. And Tim Russ is the Star Trek guy who says, we ain't found stuff.
That's like carrying around a 4-year-old all the time.
No kidding. Only a dead weight 4-year-old that doesn't help.
It's pretty much a 4-year-old.
Yeah, well. They'll hold on a little bit.
I don't want to go limp.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Don't you go limp on me, Shawn. Which, by the way, Corny, I haven't really had a chance to talk to you much, but my roommate Chris and I, we rewatched the entirety of Leverage.
Hell yes. I just started watching it myself, actually.
And
it's for like my 5th viewing.
Yeah, it was probably about my 4th or 5th time too. And frankly, I actually enjoyed it more this time because I knew a lot of what was going to happen. And watching it with someone who had never seen it before, it was kind of cool because I was like, oh, this isn't one of the better episodes. He's like, dude, I freaking loved it. I'm like, oh. Okay. Okay.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
Speaking of
Cleveland Little.
So we decided to do something different. By we, I mean Andrew came up with a really great idea. So we've done Mel Brooks movies. We've done certainly space movies and parody movies. So Andrew came up with the idea of pick one movie for the 3 stars of the movie, being John Candy, Bill Pullman, and Rick Moranis. Unless you picked a different 3 stars, which is fine too. But just kind of your, if not your favorite movie, one of your favorite movies that actor portrayed in. And
are we talking about like, okay, so stars or people with?
I would say one of the like top billing people.
Okay.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
That's the point of mine.
Is it going to change up people's answers?
It'll be fine. Yeah.
Oh goodness! All right, Andrew, you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I'm going to start with the honestly my least favorite of the 3 actors, and that would be Mr. Pullman. Which I'm not saying he's a bad actor, but my aunt actually went to college with him.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And knows him personally and knows his wife really well. But Independence Day would be my movie for Pullman.
Sure.
Yes.
Number 2, I guess, would be Rick Moranis' film. And, you know, I started to go one direction with this, and I thought, you know, that movie everybody's probably seen. Everybody kind of knows. But there's one movie that I absolutely love, and I loved when I was a kid. And you have a close connection with this film with one of your friends, former colleagues, but the Little Giants.
Oh, right.
Which I loved it growing up. I thought that was a great movie. And then John Candy, this is up there in some of my maybe top 20 movies of all time, is The Great Outdoors.
Okay, yeah.
You know, I don't think I've ever seen that.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Huh.
I think one of John Candy's better movies.
Sure. All right on. And while you were saying that last bit, Andrew, I had to go look through. I have my pictures here. One of these days I'm going to post it on the internet, but you mentioned Little Giants starring Rick Moranis and Ted, what's his name?
Ginn Jr.
Not Ted Ginn Jr. Bundy, right? Wasn't it Bundy from Married with Children? And the girl that played Icebox.
Wait, Ted Bundy's a serial.
Yeah, not Ted Bundy. That's why I stopped myself. Al Bundy.
Ted Danson.
Yeah, and Al Bundy.
Al Bundy.
Yeah, Al Bundy.
Ted Bundy.
But the girl that played Icebox in her name is Shauna Waldron, and I'm showing that's her there. One of these days,
did you run into her in that picture?
Yeah.
So one of these days I'll have to put
try to take a selfie and run into somebody like that.
Something like that. There's another picture. Again, no one at home, people who are listening can't obviously participate in this.
Yeah.
But I apologize for that. Anyway, so yeah, I knew Shauna.
I could Photoshop too, you know.
Shut up. You asshole. You can Photoshop, but dims are real. So anyway, cool. Right on. Corny.
All right. So my number 3 is going to be Home Alone.
Okay.
The first one.
For John Candy. Sure.
Bill Pullman. Sorry, actually, I'll say that for 1-1. My number 2. No. My number 2 is Bill Pullman as El Presidente. Independence Day.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And my number one is Mel Brooks as he plays his cameo in Blazing Saddles.
Okay.
Nice.
Right on. Right on, Sam.
Oh, you cut me mid-yawn. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Dude. I know it's...
All right, I've got Rick Moranis
His shorts are swollen.
As the key
the gatekeeper.
Gatekeeper.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yep. But I got to mention Honey, I Shrunk the Kids because it was my first date ever in the 5th grade.
Oh yeah, holding hands.
So yeah. And then I've got John Candy in Cool Runnings.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Coach. And then of course Bill Pullman. I'm right there with Corny in I Can Fly. I'm a pilot.
I fly. I'm pilot.
Independence Day.
I'm glad Chad's dad made that movie.
He kind of does remind me of a crazy Randy Newman, doesn't he?
Yeah.
That's too funny.
That's great.
Sorry. Okay, so my number something. Where is it? My list. Where'd it go? So my Rick Moranis. I also did Ghostbusters. The Little Giants would probably have to be a close second. Actually, honestly, my number one would be this movie, but I can't do that because it would break the rules that I invented. So I'm going to say Ghostbusters. My Bill Pullman, I originally wrote Independence Day, not realizing that all four of us were going to pick Independence Day. So I'm going to quickly switch it over to
American President.
Either he wasn't in that. So either
was he not?
No, Shawn Waldron was in American President.
Which one? The Are you serious?
Yes.
Okay.
American President. He was the president was Michael Douglas.
Oh, okay.
And Charlie Sheen's dad was in it.
Oh, he's married to the Mexican lady.
Well, yeah, in real life, yeah, he's married to Catherine Zeta-Jones, who's from Wales. And so Bill Pullman will either be Newsies. Again, it's a small role. I mean, honestly, it's got to be Independence Day. It has to be, but I'm just trying to think of other movies I liked him in. And my number for John Candy, I was trying to think as far outside of the box as I could, so I went with Rookie of the Year. He's the announcer.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
I liked him a lot in that movie. He's really funny.
Funky butt loving.
Yeah, did he just say funky butt loving? I said that at the construction site last week, and no one got the reference. I was a little upset. But it is kind of a weird movie for a bunch of dudes to know. Here we go. Oh, I got to pull my phone out. Out of 10. This is where we give the movie...
Wait, what's supposed to happen?
Out of 10. 1 out of 10 for the movie. And Andrew, you go.
All right. I mean, it still makes me laugh. I still think it's a fine film. And as far as parodies go, it's one of my favorite. And like we said, you have to kind of view a parody in a different light.
Mm-hmm.
But having said that, I'm going to give this, IMDb says about 7.1, and I'm pretty close with it. I'm going to go a little bit higher, maybe a 7.23.
Okay, right on. Corny. Hey, Corny, by the way, did you watch the Cloverfield Paradox? The week we did it?
I did not.
You should watch it if you get a chance. You might enjoy some part.
Don't tell me how to live.
I'm just saying. You should.
Well, if I do what I want.
What would you give this movie?
I'm going to give it out of 10.
I don't know what that means.
Oh, you know what it means. No, I'm going to actually give it a 9.5.
Oh, wow.
Like I said, for years, this movie has always made me feel the same way. And I know it's not going to hold up, and I know it's not going to be anything, but it's stupid Mel Brooks, witty comedy, and toilet humor all rolled up into one giant spaceball.
I'm actually going back through your list, Corny, of movies where you gave something a 9.
Oh, they're very select.
Yeah, so far I'm at Saving Private Ryan, Wonder Woman, Logan. Captain America the replacements. The replacements you gave a 10.
I love that freaking movie.
Yeah, you did.
I had to edit myself. I love that movie.
And Good Will Hunting.
Oh, and the first Avengers movie.
That's as far back as my list goes.
Oh,
but yeah,
I gave a 10 to the first Avengers movie.
Yeah, I believe you. All right, right on. Hey, no judgment. I'm with you. Sam.
You skew the hell out of this score.
Yeah, well.
Oh, okay. This is nostalgia for me. But I gotta say there are a few jokes that just don't land as well as they used to. So I would recommend it, but would not say that they absolutely needed to go see it right then and there. So I would probably give it a 7.1 out of 10.
All right.
Hey Sam, quick question.
Yeah.
Why do you hate America?
Oh.
I'm kind of with no one. I'm just gonna say an 8.5. I like it. It holds up. Parts of it hold up, but it's my kind of comedy because it's making fun of my favorite genre, and the jokes just work for me because it's my favorite genre. So yeah, there you go. I'm trying to think how to write the top 3 stars for this. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Next week, we are doing something in the same vein of space and whatnot, but we're doing a very serious movie called The Arrival. It's on Amazon Prime.
Oh, is it? Oh, cool.
And
when does it get here?
I don't know. I guess we'll find out next week. And then
When it arrives?
the week after that, we have another request by listener Andrew, who wants us to do. He said, "I enjoyed your Big Trouble in Little China movie so much that he wants us to do another John Carpenter, Kurt Russell film. So we're doing Escape from New York."
Oh, nice.
Which I've never seen. I've only seen Escape from L.A. So next week we'll do Arrival. We'll do a serious Oscar-worthy film, and then we'll do something that's completely different with Escape from New York. And then we've got some other good movies on the list coming up soon. So in the meantime, while I hit the button that plays the music, you can go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/Cheapseat Reviews. The website's down, and frankly, it's kind of down indefinitely. We don't really know when that's coming back. It's more of a financial thing than really anything else at this point. I mean, I guess if the listeners that really, really want it back on, I guess you can always throw some money at our GoFundMe.com/Cheapseat Reviews. $25 gets you on the show. You pick a movie and get you on the show. So if that's something you want to do,
You take a free swing at Shawn?
yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
If you really want to. I'm not going to go anywhere, so you got to drive to where I live in South Carolina, but.
Thank you.
And I'm
Yes.
What? Corny, did you say you're going to do it?
No.
I was going to say, you were in Anderson, South Carolina, and you didn't even take the time to come see me. So.
Oh.
In all fairness, I was beating the crap out of something else.
Okay.
But I didn't name my drum set Shawn.
I was going to say, your drum set? You named it Shawn? No, you didn't. That's the dumbest name for a drum set ever.
No, I cried because I actually did.
That's funny. Anyway, that's twitter.com/ or at Cheapseat
Red and bearded.
Your drum set is red and bearded? That's weird.
But it smokes. It's really rude.
Oh, no. That's not me. Anyway, on behalf of Corny, Andrew, and Sam, this is Shawn saying thank you for listening, and may the Schwartz be with you.
ain't found clips.